In addition to the workspace, another thing that R is doing that isn't readily apparent is that R is currently monitoring a specific folder on your computer. This is called the working directory, and this is the first place that R is going to look when you ask it to import a file without giving the full path on your computer to that file. So if you're curious what your current working directory is, you can type the function getwd, WD standing for working directory. Remember your parentheses and hit enter, and you'll see that my current working directory, since I have not changed the default, is just my documents folder. You can also set your working directory if you know where you want to go and you just, for this session only, want to set it. You can use set WD, so set working directory, and then type in a working directory. So I know, actually I don't actually know all the different folders I have in here, but if I had some new working directory folder I wanted to go into, I could type it in like that and hit enter and it would change. But that folder doesn't actually exist, so that's just going to throw an error, so I won't hit enter. Just to help those of you who might not have ever thought about paths in this kind of way, if you're used to thinking of your computer as a series of embedded folders, this kind of address right here might look really intimidating, but it's actually pretty easy to follow. So starting from the left, each of the names is just the name of a folder, and you're going, so here you're starting at the top level, so of my Macintosh hard drive, I start at the root of that. To get to my documents folder, I then, if you can just imagine yourself clicking into users, then clicking into lsuttle, then clicking into documents, and that's just what the path means. So what if you want to change your working directory? So imagine you want to find a specific file, and you want to get to that directory and set it as your working directory. So one easy way to do that in Mac, I'm just going to pop in here. This is my stats materials. You can see I downloaded the data set for lecture 3, and we're going to be working with that in a little bit. For now, I've just downloaded it. So it's actually on my desktop, but within the stats 1 materials folder, I have some data, and then in there I have my supplemental stats. So if I want to just get the path to this file, I can go to here, get info. You see, it actually gives you a preview of it, but what you really need is right here, so where. So this is the path to the data folder where this file lives. So if I wanted to just set my working directory, I could, remembering to put quotes around it because it's a string, just do that. And now if I go get WD, I've actually moved. So that's one way to do it. Keep in mind though, if you set your working directory this manual way, anytime you close R, it's going to revert back to whatever your default working directory is. I often recommend to my students that they just create a folder for whatever R stuff they're working on and change their default working directory to that folder so they don't have to do this confusing shuffle. So to do that on a Mac, you would go to R and Preferences. And within the Preferences, it actually will start here. You'll see that there's a Startup button. It might be up here, but either one, the R Startup. And there's a lot of different options. Right here, Initial Working Directory, this is your default. So it's initial in that anytime you open R, this is where it's going to default to. So you can see mine is Documents. So to change that, you can just click the Change button, and this should hopefully look much more familiar, just navigating. So it's going Users, lsuttle. I actually want to go to my desktop because that's where my materials live, so Desktop, Stats 1 Materials, and then I'm going to always put my data here. So I'll just hit Open, and you can see now that's where it goes. I check Always Apply just because I like the firmness of it. Just always apply. I haven't seen a difference checking it or unchecking. I think by default it's not checked, but either way. And so then you can just close it and it will have done it. So just to prove that to you, let me kind of clear out of everything. You'll see, actually you can see right here in Mac, it'll always say where your working directory is. So you can see I'm actually where I'm supposed to be. Just to show you with the getwd command, I'm now in my data folder. And so now every time I start up, it's going to go there.